questions, and then Marissa will take some notes, and Doug will record.
Okay.
It's all about leadership and teamwork and skills for future leaders.
Okay.
So, first, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Craig Rice, Montgomery County Council, and member of the Chesapeake Bay Water Resource Policy Committee for COG.
Sure. Thank you for taking the time to answer our questions today.
Absolutely.
The first one we have is, what makes a successful leader? What do you think are the most important characteristics?
Well, I think listening is always important, and listening is important because you have a lot of your own ideas and thoughts that you have about how you think we could solve a problem, how best you think we as a region can move forward. But it's really important to hear other people's ideas because they also are very smart and have a lot of research and information that they can share with you. And so a good leader is one who takes all of that information together along with their own information and then makes an even more informed decision about how to move forward. But they also have to make sure that they're moving forward too. It's not just about gaining the information. There are a lot of very smart people that are out there who then can help to move that into actually having it facilitate some sort of change in policy or law or overall programmatic shift or change for us as a region or a community. And so from that perspective, it's coupling all those things together that I think encompasses what truly makes a really good leader.
That's something that we're definitely learning about. Listening is important in providing feedback and also being able to receive feedback.
Yep.
So that's right on target. How have your views on leadership changed over time?
So before, I thought that being a strong leader meant that you have the knowledge and you talk to some people and then you push forward and make sure that that idea comes to fruition. But in reality, there are times when things might not be right for that sort of change. And so it's understanding that even though you might have checked all the boxes in terms of talking with the community, understanding that this is indeed a problem, and even figure out a way to make it happen, understanding that there are times when that change might not just be right for us to do right now, and to be patient, right? To make sure that that change happens at a pace that allows for us to really accept it and embrace it and actually make it come to fruition. And so that's something that I've had to learn, as a person who's very gung-ho and wanted to do this to see change and make things happen and understand that government is a very large ship and it oftentimes takes a while to be able to maneuver that in any particular direction.
Perfect. And then our last question is, for future and emerging leaders, what do you think are some really important skills to keep in mind?
Well, I think being able to research is an incredibly important skill. I can't tell you how much I learn every single day about another different topic, and you think you know so much, and then come to find a new day and a new thing where you're learning even more. And so being able to research and find out what kind of information you need to help best substantiate your position or to inform you of a position that you might want to take on a particular issue is extremely helpful. Being able to work together with others and being collegial is something that also is very important. We are not in a dictatorship, and so it really is one in which you have to work with your colleagues, whether it ends up being 2 colleagues or 9, or when I was in the House of Delegates, 140 other colleagues. It really is something in which you've got to be able to form a coalition. So you've got to be able to espouse your ideas and get them to others so that they can understand where you are, convince them and work together with them that this is the right pathway moving forward, and then work together with them through any of the pitfalls and challenges that you might have in terms of moving whatever ideas you want to have forward. So it's a complicated issue, and it really requires a complex set of skills. But it's something that anybody, I think, if they put their mind to, can do. The key is that you have to care. The people who care, it's interesting when we compare elected officials to children. And I think it's important from this aspect, and it's not an insult, but it's one in which a child will always craft how best to convince their parents that they want to do or want to get a particular gift or want to go to a particular mall or movie or whatever the case may be, and come up with a formula. And if they have siblings, they're working with their siblings and others to say, okay, you tell mom this, and I'm going to tell dad this, and we're going to... Well, that same basic instinct that we had then as children is the same thing that we need to utilize now. The ability and unfettered working together with others to come up with something, and the ability to think outside of the box creatively, all of those kinds of things, and really learning about what it is, all of those things are things that we need now in our toolbox to make sure that we're successful leaders. And so for all of those young and emerging leaders, I'd say hone those skills and make sure that those are there for you, and then seize the opportunity when it's there. This is a great opportunity to be leaders in our community, and especially at a time like this, we need them more than ever.
It's really interesting you say that, because yesterday we were just learning the differences in comparing between how we learned as children and how we learn now as adults. But I also want to go back to how you were talking about collegial and working together across the region. I think COG's Chesapeake Bay and Water Resources Policy Committee is a great example of that. So you were chair 2 years ago. Can you tell us a little bit about your work and how important it is to work together?
Yeah, it's really important because, a lot of the issues that we face, whether it's transportation, whether it's working with our environment, as we do here with the Chesapeake Bay Water Resource Policy Committee, require collaboration across county lines, across state lines, and it really is one in which we have to understand that we all own a lot of these problems. And so it's bringing everyone together, understanding that everyone's not going to have always the same sort of priorities in their own jurisdictions, but how we can reach that common ground about identifying what the problem is and agree that this is a problem first, and then list out ways in which we can best address them. Some of them might be different in all of our different localities. So, Fairfax might concentrate on stormwater management, while, Allegheny County might be looking at farms and what their contribution is from, farm and animal runoff. And so it's from that perspective that each one, even though they're different in terms of what their individual specific focus is, are going towards that main goal of understanding water quality is important to all of us in all of our constituencies, whether you're in, the northern regions of Maryland or whether you're in the southern regions of Virginia. It's one of those where that doesn't change, and so it's bringing people around that common message and that common theme, that common priority that then gets us to where we need to be in bringing everyone together.
That's perfect. So I think that's it, right? Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Oh, please, my pleasure.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
It was,